Ah, there we go. Hey, Tong, how you doing? Your screams, I have heard them, cat. Not too bad, I guess. Hope you are well. I've had a very lazy day considering it's been really, really hot. It's like 27 degrees Celsius in the house, and that's with AC. So, like, it's hot. It is, oh, it's a scorcher. That's it. I'm sick of the sun. We're blowing it up. Blow up the sun. Nuke it. I don't care. Let us freeze. I am already a fucking. I'm already a goddamn furnace. I run hot every day, and I hate it. It is a bad time. Ah. Other than that, it has been a somewhat productive day. I got all of Halo Reach recorded. And that's just writing the script for Reach. Yay, pain. Can't wait for all those arguments to start. I am going to turn on some stream music. Excellent. Wonderful. And here's a fucking mess because it's so hot. It is too damn hot! Like I got AC blowing in the bedroom. We got a fan at my bedroom door that's blowing the air into here. And I got a fan down here that's not turned on. I did, however, have a friend over the other day, and she had me pull out my Chaos Space Marine Magic the Gathering cards. So that was a fun time. Yeah, like lots it's a complete commander deck with all the Chaos Space Marine cards, and I just a lot of these artworks are cool. But then, like, you realize that a lot of them are from the codexes, and you're just like, oh, that's depressing. Like this one, Bloodthirster. This is just from, this is just the Grey Knight, Codex's art of a Bloodthirster. Then there's, the Defiler is just from, Codex Death Guard. I really wish that this was, like... Like, I think the only ones that got, like, unique art were, the Noise Marine. Yeah, because, like, Blasphemous Act. This card here. This is just from the 7th edition Chaos Codex. Which was the 6th edition Chaos Codex. Hi, TCOM! But yeah, so... This card art was from 6th edition. Like, Be'lakor and Abaddon were the only ones to get, like, their only... I think, their unique art. This is just a zoomed-in version of the Death Guard Codex. I really would... This is just the cover to Vigilus. Vigilus Ablaze. Been a while since I was able to catch you live. Been traveling, plus recovering from the hurricane. Right, yeah, I'm sorry about that. Are you okay? But yeah, like, the Chaos deck, while you're typing out how you been, the Chaos deck came with 2 Abaddon the Despoiler cards. 2 of them. I am not a Magic the Gathering player. Like, I know the basics. I have no in-depth knowledge of the game. So I can't tell if a commander, being worth 5 with, trample, and essentially, give everything Cascade is a good thing. I don't know if that's good. I know that Karn got a card in here. I just passed it. What are we playing? We're just chilling and talking. Chilling and ranting, chilling and talking. We aren't playing anything today. Mostly because, like, it is hot in my house and I hate it. And I'm, oh god, it's bad. It's just so hot in here. I live a bit further south from where it hit, so we didn't get hit too bad. Okay, that's good at least. Like, we have them, in this deck. We do have, like, representatives for all the gods. I know that much. Like, we got Magnus, we got Mortarion, we got Karn, we got Abaddon, we got Be'lakor. Yeah, Lucius. Oh, you can run Lucius as a commander. Hi, Gabe. Okay, Lucius the Eternal. Legendary creature, Astartes warrior. Haste, Armor of Shrieking Souls. When Lucius the Eternal dies, exile and choose target creature and opponent's controls. When that creature leaves the battlefield, return Lucius the Eternal from exile to the battlefield under its owner's control. Ooh, that's a fun card. That's a fun... Well, no, because if you lose your commander... Ah, he's a fun card anyway. My new combat control Custodes blew away, though, so that sucks. Oh, I'm sorry. But yeah, like... I don't know why Magic the Gathering did 40k. I'm not angry about it. I bought it when it came out. But, like... Warhammer Fantasy and Age of Sigmar were just sitting there, right? Why didn't they do that? Kind of seems like a no-brainer. Now, I know, like, 40k is, like, the more well-known one, but it would have really tied in with, like, Total War Warhammer and such. In my opinion. Just, replace Tyranids with Skaven. Make Stormcast Eternal the Imperial one. Keep the Chaos deck, just change all the card art to, Slaves to Darkness. And then, Is it Magic the Gathering partnering with Marvel as well? Oh, God, are they? Magic the Gathering Marvel. Magic the Gathering Marvel collaboration. Yep, that's a thing. It's happening. Oh boy, place your bets now, kids! What color are they gonna make all the decks? Oh, baby! Who's gonna be the commander for the Avengers? Love your content. Hope the day finds you well. Thank you. Yo, just saying. If Doctor Doom is not a deck, we riot. If Doctor Doom is not a commander and not in one of the decks, we fucking riot. Because that is absolutely hilarious. Just showing up to a commander night dressed as Doctor Doom, sitting your ass down and going, I am Doom! And I have brought Doom! And you summon Doom. A lot of people are calling the Fortnite-fication of Magic. I mean... Is that a bad thing? It's really not. I'm more angry at, like, Hasbro being a shit company and treating its employees like shit and forcing fucking horrible ideas onto the creators of, like, D&D and Magic the Gathering. I really fucking hate that. But, like... It's a fun idea, doing these crossovers. Like, they've done Transformers, they've done, My Little Pony, they've done Doctor Who, they've done Lord of the Rings, they've done 40k, and they do sell. Yeah, crossovers continue to always be fun. And, by the way, I have, like, both TikTok and Twitch and YouTube chat up. To Lucas there, you don't need to worry about these crossover sets, because the crossover sets are not canon. They are not canon to your Magic the Gathering universe. And, yeah, like, at the end of the day, a lot of these cards are just reprints of other cards that are out there. Like, Sol Ring. It has Chaos artwork. Sol Ring here just has Chaos artwork. But it's still Sol Ring. It's just a different flavor of Sol Ring. But, like... Oh, I don't mind the skins. That's awesome. That's fair. And I do get it that you want Magic the Gathering to focus more on set-to-set kind of things, like when's the new release of cards, all that kind of stuff. I fully get it. I do get it. It's the same thing with Yu-Gi-Oh! Like, can you just release the next set when it's ready to go, please? Thank you. And not send the Pinkertons to our house. Thank you! Oh boy, they're never living that one down. But yeah, like... other than that, it's just been a really slow day for me. Very, very slow day. Recorded Reach. Napped. Not much else. I have just been going along with the flow of the day because it's just been too hot to do anything productive and or fun. The heat kills me. For your info, the Pinkertons still exist. I know they do. It's terrible. I managed to introduce a lot of friends with Lord of the Rings set, and they're loving it. That's great. The heat is killer. It fucking is. It kills any motivation to do anything. Oh my god. It sucks! Just blow up the sun. I'm down. I'm ready. Fucking end it. Blow up the sun. Have you listened to the Epic the Musical? I have not. What the hell is that? Epic the Musical. Never heard of it. And I'm not risking a copyright strike. Let's go. Let's not risk that shit. TikTok, I know you could give less of a fuck. But the other two give a fuck, and they make money for me, so I care about their opinion. You know, when I think of Canada, I think of the opposite of hot. Well, guess what, baby? Climate change is real! And shit sucks! And unlike you fucking coast livers, we don't get rain every fucking 5 minutes. We have to sit here in the goddamn valley and suffer. You know, like where you're living in a crack and the sun is just beating down on you, you're just like, ah! That's what it's like. We need rain. God damn, we need rain. Holy shit. We had rain yesterday, and it knocked out the power to my house. It was a thunderstorm. Thank you for that. Drop a giant ice cube in the ocean. Problem solved. Oh, that's not how that works. That's not how that works. Killer Cans sound like a blast to paint. They're fun. They are fun. Orc stuff is very fun to paint. Yeah, orc stuff is very fun to paint, especially if you're like into trash vehicles, and I'm very much like that Mad Max junkyard kind of stuff, like designs and stuff. It's really good. It's really fun. Oh boy. They have robots making ice cubes. Oh, well, shit. Good for them. What do you guys want to talk about today? What do you guys, gals, non-binary pals want to talk about today? What do you all want to know? Aside from the fact that my Halo 3 video is out, and you should all go watch it, including all 70,000 of you TikTok people. That's right, we finally broke 70K on TikTok. Hell yeah, baby. Now if I can just get all that over there, over to the other spot, I appreciate it. I love you. You make my life better. thank you. Congrats on breaking 70K. Yeah, it only took me fucking leaving for months and not thinking about TikTok and then coming back to it because I'm just like, 20 people seeing that my video is ready is better than 0 people seeing that my video is ready. So, fuck, I guess. Also, I miss my TikTok friends. I miss them. You know, I'm going to give some shout-outs here quick. Hold on. I'm going to go through my TikTok here. 1 sec. Hold on. Don't go anywhere. I'm going through a list. Don't go anywhere. I will cry. To my TikTok friends, we got Boots on the Ground, Big Fat Socialist, Eero Witchling, The Reading Dragon, Rosa Marshmallow, Ninja Fox Productions, Cerberus XT, Liefry, Peganox, Chaplain Agaheel, Ida, 40K Farva, Admech Girl, Taraga Max, miss you Taraga, miss you, Chrisfire98, Zulamandi, miss you, Alice and Dusty, you're in my server, so like, say hi. iCast Chaos, Rick Strongback, wait, is the Panda Red following me? Oh shit! Sir, are you lost? Are you lost, sir? Did you walk into the wrong bar? I mean, I'm not upset. I'm far from it. I'm just wondering what I did. I'm just wondering what I did to get one of the biggest comic book creators on TikTok to follow my dumbass. What did I do? What did I say? I can't handle this pressure. Watched it during release and plan to watch it again a few times more while I farm on Terraria. Oh, nice. The unknown alien race that showed up on the outskirts of the solar system in Halo right before the Battle of Earth embodied an entire battle group and left no survivors, and the UC has no idea. What? What? You mean that radio conversation? That was the Flood. That was the Flood popping up near Mars. And then just, like, waiting. Aw, oh, dude, my knowledge of Halo is gigabrain. Gigabrain. My knowledge of 40K, even gigger than that. I mean, you have good videos and articulate your opinions very well. Oh, God. So, like, when I'm doing opinionated videos like that, I really feel like I'm coming off insane. Like, I don't know if, like, I'm articulating my points very well. 40K lore is my special interest. It is mine, too. But, I constantly worry that I am not making my opinions very well known. And TikTok, again, is not the best place for trying to give a very in-detailed opinion. Oh my god, excuse me. Especially when you're breaking something down. It's very good for, like, quick, informative things, very surface level. But if you want to do, like, something very deep and very, something very deep-divey, you really have to go to other places, because TikTok does just not allow it in a very digestible form. Which, thank you, I'm really appreciating that YouTube is finally taking off, and that it's actually allowing me to get these creative thoughts out of my head. So that way I'm not going insane over here like, the themes! The themes! The lore! But, like, I do enjoy talking about the stories and the fluff of all these different, like, sci-fi universes that I'm into, and just enjoying them. Oh, shit. Where the fuck was that? Now, that's something I don't know about Halo. What the fuck? But yeah, I constantly worry that on TikTok I'm not articulating my opinions or speech very well. And did you happen to watch Tenacon? What the fuck is Tenacon? That'll tell you no. No, because I don't play Warframe, nor have I cared about Warframe. I tried it once. I glitched through the map, and I gave up. It doesn't help that the people trying to show me how to play the game were dicks. And didn't show me how to play the fucking game. And just were like, no, you'll figure it out. Bitch, where do I go? What do you mean I'll figure it out? Like, yeah, I'll figure anything out in time, but this is an MMO, you piece of shit. Yeah, no, Warframe is not for me. Never has been. Never doing that shit. I got enough on my plate. I gotta worry about fucking Halo Reach. And then I gotta worry about Space Marine 2, because there's gonna... You bet your skinny ass there is going to be a fucking Space Marine 2 video. Because I've done Space Marine 1. And now we're gonna go into Space Marine 2 when it comes out in September. Oh boy, and I get to play it 4 days fucking early, unlike the rest of you. So, not only will I be able to stream it, but I will also record footage for it, and then write a whole video about it, and then it's either the best thing that has ever happened for a 40k game, which, by the way, outside of that, that's like medium at best. Like, Space Marine 2 is fun, but compared to a lot of other games in the same genre, it is very mediocre. It's a good 40k game, but it's a standard game outside of that. Because when you look at a lot of 40k games, oh god, they're all terrible, except for like Dawn of War. Jesus Christ. But wasn't Deathwing good? No. Deathwing was not good. Deathwing was bad. Inquisitor Martyr is fun. Oh, it's fun because they fixed it. It was broken on release. Oh god, you're lucky they didn't just run away with the money like they did with Battle of Calth, which was just a video game version of the board game that was poorly done. Oh, I love Pain.
Perfect.
Rogue Trader is great. Yes! But for every good 40k game, there's like 10 others that are shit. That is like absolute honesty. That 40k has like shit games that just come out of the woodwork. And it's terrible. It's awful. There's a real chance we're getting a Total War Warhammer 40k. Nope, it's Total War Star Wars. Everybody's like, we're gonna get 40k game. Nope, it's Star Wars. One must be a masochist to love 40k, and all that is GW. Hi. I like getting kicked in the face. I know last stream that 343 and Microsoft want to remake the whole... They're going to follow the original Bungie timeline. Why? The problem... Okay, the problem is not... Why are you remaking Combat Evolved again? Remaster Halo 3 and ODST. Remaster those. They need it. I didn't go over it in the video, but holy shit, has Halo 3 not aged well graphics-wise. It could really do with some, you know, some touch-ups, you know? Because some characters just got, like, the lazy eye. It's going off over here. And then you got, like, other characters just, like... Why does it look like you have been absolutely flashbanged, and then, like, the contrast was just scaled down a tiny bit and then put into the room? That's not easy money! That's not! That's not easy money! You are remaking the game from the ground up. That's not easy money. You're doing what Capcom did with all the Resident Evil games. Those are not easy money. That's expensive as fuck. And Microsoft has already proven it's fucking stupid with money. Their gaming division constantly is in the red. The only reason they haven't shut it down is because Microsoft sells computers. They can literally keep Xbox at a fucking loss because everywhere else will just absorb the damage. It is like having a 10-10 wall protect your tokens. It is stupid. They want to add all or most of what's in the book into the game. Why? It doesn't... That's not the problem here. The problem is why. Why do you need to do this? If they are remaking Combat Evolved, they are doing so again. They don't need to. Halo 1 Combat Evolved does not need to be remastered again. It looks fucking awful. Yes, the other remaster looks fucking god-awful. But, like, Halo 3 and ODST need it more. Genuinely. They need remasters, not a fucking remake. There is no point to doing so. I don't know nothing about Halo, but in your opinion, how dangerous is the Flood compared to the Tyranid? The Flood is infinitely more dangerous than the bugs. Mostly because the Flood can infect anything with a nervous system. And sufficient calcium stores. And there's no adapting to the Flood. The Flood adapts to you. The Supercell gets into your system, whether through breathing it in, getting cut by it, or an infection form literally jumping on you and digging into your system. Once the Flood Supercell is inside you, it's game over, buddy. It's game over. Now, I know a lot of people are going to point out, well, what about Johnson? Johnson was immune. Yeah, but we don't know what made him immune. And in the story that we figure that out, Chief destroys the data that could tell us. Flood or Dead Space? Fucking Flood. What is a Brethren moon but flesh? I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this. The Flood in Halo, when you guys truly understand what the Flood fucking are, y'all agree with me. What's the scariest thing about Tyranids? Oh, they come from outside the galaxy, and they adapt to outside exterior threats. Cool. They essentially kicked up evolution to a fucking nanosecond. In comparison. Oh no, this is supposed to be a chill and rant night, so we can do both. The Flood are the degradation of the Precursors, a race of aliens that were so powerful that they had star roads, like faster than light, faster than slip space, alter reality kind of shit. If 40K was in Halo, the Precursors were the old ones. And they turned into the Flood. It's stupid, but that's how scary the Flood are. And they remember everything. Everything. That story implication that I brought up in Halo 3, where the Gravemind is going, I have defeated fleets of thousands and consumed a galaxy of flesh and mind and bone, is him saying, I remember the Forerunner Flood War. I was there. Great horror story about the Flood, the Mona Lisa. It's better in written than the animated comic that they released. In my opinion. It's way better. It doesn't help that the Mona Lisa is a short story. Yeah, a lot of people don't know this, but Halo, when Halo was given over to 343, there was a massive book initiative where they were trying to essentially set up for Halo 4, as well as get people interested into the books. One of these things was Halo Evolutions Part 1 and 2. Halo Evolutions was a collection of short stories, poems, and dossiers within the Halo universe. They're anthology books at the end of the day. Canon anthology books. And a lot of the books, a lot of the stories were great. And later on, they would get animated comic adaptations on Halo Waypoint. Yeah. I think Mona Lisa works way better in written than it does in comic book form. Because you get more of that sense of dread. And I don't know why, but the comic book version just doesn't do it justice, in my opinion. But that's the benefit of having a very creative writer over trying to animate comic book panels and have 2D images that were not meant to be animated doing the that kind of thing, you know? So, very well voice acted, by the way. Just because I say that the written form is superior does not mean that you cannot watch and get entertainment out of the animated comic version of Mona Lisa. But yeah, no, the Flood is terrifying, and the Tyranids, if one Tyranid spore gets into the gene pool of the Tyranids, it's game over. The Flood basically have enough biomass to run everything. I find the whole Bareth and the Flood stuff BS, mostly because that means that in every combat zone you fight in, you have to kill every one of your allies if they are infected, as well as the Arbiter. Yeah, so there is a funny thing. A lot of people asked, well, if Flood spores exist and the Flood infection is airborne, why isn't Arbiter infected? The real, like, the in-game reason, like, the in-lore reason is that his shields protected him, like, the shields just burned away any of the spores or any of the DNA that would infect him. Real life, creative license. That concept was revealed in the Forerunner trilogy, and that series of books didn't come out until around the time of Halo Reach. So, yeah, it didn't, that concept didn't exist, and then when it did exist, it brought up a whole lot of problems. Does fire is a good solution for the spores? Yes, I believe they do give, like, a certain amount of, Sentinel Beam. Sentinel Beam Halo. They have it fire at like a specific Kelvin. 15,000 degrees Kelvin. That is how hot a sentinel beam fires. That's hot. That is very, very hot. How hot is 1500 Kelvin? It is very hot. Wasn't the NSC solution to start giving people flamethrowers? There was a lot of solutions. One of them is just nukes. When in doubt, nuke it. But yeah, y'all missed the point of those fucking versus videos. So we just can burn the surface of the plan, that's cool. Not all the time. That's my wife. That's my wife. I love you. That's my wife. I think they like me. Yeah, no, like, I need to remind you guys that the Forerunners, like, how scary the Flood is. The Forerunners could build planets. They could build something as big as the Ark, which in Halo 3 is the lesser Ark. I.e., that's the backup. That was the backup one. They had the greater Ark, which was 5 times the size of the lesser Ark. Which, the Ark was already pretty fucking big. That's how advanced these fuckers were, and they still lost. The problem becomes, when are you tackling the Flood? If you get them in the feral stage, it is pretty easy to deal with them. Because in the feral stage, they're just in survival mode. They're just trying to get enough biomass to start a proto-great mine. Which, it's pretty easy to lure them out. Just bring bodies. They'll come. But once you get to the coordinated stage, which is stage 2, that's when you're in trouble. Because it has now developed enough of a brain to start countering you. And it's not just like, charge there, charge there. No, it knows everything you know. Stop screaming. Where are you? Get over here. Cat cameo. This is Sarah. They are loud. They are a very loud cat. Say hello. Say hello, baby. You're very talkative out there. Why aren't you talkative in here? Say hello. Say hi. Say hello. What? Upside down. Spider cat. Spider cat. Does whatever a spider cat does. Claws her dad. You gonna stop screaming? You gonna stop screaming? You gonna stop you screaming? You gonna stop you screaming? You gonna stop? Okay, I'll put you down. You need to stop your screaming. Hello, cat. But yeah, so once you reach coordination, it's game over. The only reason we succeeded in Halo was a few key... Oh my god, excuse me. Was a few key factors. One, John's luck. That is extremely important. Sarah! My god, cat. John's luck was a massive thing in that. John's just a very lucky guy in general. Two, the Gravemind was more preoccupied with what Cortana knew and was keeping from him, rather than, you know, focus on Endgame. 3, a varying set of circumstances that only Cortana knew about. She knew that the Ark existed, she knew that the rings were being rebuilt on the Ark, and that and that she had the weapon to do it. Did it succeed? Partially. Thank you, Halo Wars 2, for confirming that the Flood were still alive. Just not in the same numbers as they were in Halo 3. And again, I know a lot of you don't know this, because that's my job. I'm supposed to know this and tell you guys and gals and non-binary pals all this stupid shit. But then it gets really fucking annoying. Hi Aramis. When I have people coming in and screaming at me going, "No, you're wrong!" No, I'm not. I am fully aware of 40k's power level. I am fully aware of Halo's power level. The Flood is terrifying, and 40k would be the perfect breeding ground for the Flood. Because everybody's at each other's throats. In Halo, everybody could see the writing on the wall that the Flood was a very bad thing. Like, the elites of the humanity teamed up to fight it. But then you got 40k. You can't even get the same factions to agree on the same thing. If you put Sisters of Battle along with another fucking Imperial Guard regiment, they get into an argument because they don't get each other. And then the Flood just sit there and go, that's another 10 worlds. How would you beat the Flood? Don't let them out. How do you beat the Flood? They've already been beaten. Don't let them out. Don't go anywhere near them. You find a Forerunner. You find a Forerunner place. That place has a containment cell. You leave it the fuck alone. Everybody knows. Don't touch. Leave it the fuck alone. You see that containment area? No. You walk away. This is horror movie logic. You see that cursed cabin? You walk away. You walk away. Other direction. Do not be white people stupid in the Halo universe. Don't be white people stupid. Ignore the signs. If the Flood cell says free pumpkin spice latte inside, ignore it. Every time the Flood pop up, it's because someone's being an idiot. Halo 1, the Covenant go into the fucking place thinking like, oh yeah, it's just a place, right? Open that door! Oh no! And then Halo 2 was like, so I dropped this canister and this fucking thing came out. Wasn't this supposed to be a gas station? Which, by the way, Forerunners, you're keeping flood samples on a gas station? The fuck is wrong with you? You reinforce it. Yes, bury it. Don't let anyone touch. Also, that red fucking monitor, the one from Halo 2, Penitent Tangent. Oh my god, worst monitor in the entirety of Halo. The map cold storage in Halo 3, that's Delta Halo. That's the fucking Halo ring from Halo 2 that you're fighting in. That's his cold storage. And it has a whole fucking, like, message history about, like, the superintendent of that area going, like, yeah, no, security has lapsed completely, and the monitor doesn't give a fuck. I don't know what happened to him. He's probably dead. But then there might be snack inside. It's a small chance, but there's a chance. There is no snacks inside! You will become the snack! The only snack is you! Do not feed the flood! It's just like the gremlins! Do not feed past midnight! Do not be white people stupid! Y'all see a closed door? You leave that door alone! If the monitor comes down and tells you, yeah, no, that's where we keep the flood samples, don't go inside, heed the ball! The ball is right! What named character in 40K would be stupid to let them out? Oh, we got a hit list. You want me to rattle off names? Let's fucking go. Name antagonist here. Name antagonist here. Typhus would be stupid enough to let them out. Mostly because he's down for that kind of shit. Insert easily tricked guardsman. Insert radical inquisitor. Insert orthodox inquisitor. Insert religious nut job here. Insert orcs. Insert Tyranids. Mostly because they're just bugs trying to eat. Glad to see you back. Go to my YouTube, please. I appreciate it. Need a radical inquisitor. Fabius Bile? Oh, Fabulous Bill? Fabulous Bill. Let's talk about Fabius Bill here for just a second. Fabius Bill finds himself in the Halo universe. Hears about the Flood. He goes, a supercell, you say? He will then walk his merry ass up to the ring, or any rings, or any installation that he knows will have flood infection forms on them, in stasis, dragging along a merry band of prisoners, of just human slaves from Halo universe, and then just be like, do all my mutants, kill the sentinels, and then bust down the door with his massive nuts hanging out, and then just capture one infection form, and then just leave. With the door broken open. That is Fabulous Bill. That is he. And then he will proceed to study, dissect, and learn. And then he will know the Flood Supercell inside and out. He will not use it on himself. He's not stupid. But he is incredibly fucking insane. I have no idea what I just walked into. Me neither. He would jump into the pile instantly. Oh, yes! Fabulous Bile's just like, a scientific discovery! Yeet! What about Trizon? He's not stupid. But he is the kind of person that would have that in a museum. Ulthran, no. You know what? No, Ulthran would try to stop the Flood from ever getting out again, and then casually just, you know, fuck everything up. Because that's Ulthran's entire life. He has a vision of the future. The vision is telling him, don't do anything, and this won't come to pass. And then he reads it as, I must do something to stop this from happening! And then the entirety of the 40k universe goes, Eldrad Ulthran, the galaxy would be better if you didn't do anything. Take Vex's advice. Stop doing stuff! Like what he did with Fulgrim. Ha! He already has one of his collection. If not, he will run to obtain one and leave it in stasis. Tzeentch would tell 1,000 Suns their cure is there. Yeah, but it wouldn't work on them. Like, it wouldn't work on the regular rubrics, because, like, there's nothing there. For the lulz. But, like, the perfect counter to the Flood in any situation is 1,000 Suns and, Necrons. Because unless you're going after the leadership in general, a Necron warrior is just a mindless automaton. It's not gonna work. And they atomize stuff, so it gets it down by its cellular level. Hey, Frankie. Wraith constructs. No, Wraithbone is a living material. It's a biological material. So the Flood could add it to their biomass. Ulthran is too stupid to tell people about his plans, and humans are too stupid to listen anyway. Do you think the Necrons can kill out the Flood? I think given enough time they could. What about the Logic Plague? Like I said, that will really only work on the Necron leadership, and the Logic Plague doesn't work like people think it is. It's not a computer virus. It's not. That's not how it works. So I'm gonna explain to you guys what the fuck the Logic Plague is, because I know a lot of people have screwed this up. The Logic Plague is a moral argument. It is a philosophical, moral argument that the Flood makes to a computer. To an AI, like Cortana and Mendicant Bias. The 43-year conversation that Mendicant had with the Gravemind was all about what the Flood are. And that the Gravemind is trying to convince the AI that the Flood are the conclusion to all life. They are the biological conclusion. So it only makes sense. Because, and you've got to remember this one. Stop, Sarah. You don't need to scream. I'm sorry, you can hear her scream. I don't know why. I don't know what she wants. But, it's a 43-year conversation of the Gravemind essentially making its moral and philosophical points and arguments. Why are you screaming? What do you want? I brought you in here, and now you're screaming at me. Why don't you go into the bedroom? I'm trying to tell people how the Logic Plague works. Wasn't Mendicant Bias insane to begin with? No, he wasn't. And he didn't go insane in the way that we understand it. So, the Gravemind essentially revealed to Mendicant Bias the origins of the Flood. They were the precursors. They were the people that led the galaxy. They were the race that was in charge before they were taken out by the Forerunners. And that 43-year conversation was basically, one, telling Mendicant that backstory, two, making the argument that the Flood is a natural state of being, and three, that it's only logical that the galaxy end this way. That is the argument at the crux of the logic plague. And they call it a plague because that is our understanding of the word. Remember, when you're reading the Halo 3 terminals, it is translating Forerunner language to our language. So it is trying to make sense. It is trying to break itself down in a way that we dumb monkeys can understand. That is what it's trying to do. The logic plague is not a literal plague. It is a philosophical argument that turns AI to the side of the Flood because it's a logic-based argument. Because guess what, guys? Cortana, Black Box, Roland, all these AI, they're still computers. They're still robots. They still work off a logic-based system. So logically, it's gonna happen. Because, one, they're the guys that basically figured out life, death, and the universe. Why would they be wrong? They can't be wrong. As well, Mendicant Bias didn't go insane. He was rightfully pissed. He was rightfully pissed that the Forerunners not only lied, because they said that the precursors chose them to take on the mantle of responsibility, they changed history to fit their narrative. And when the Gravemind told him, yeah, no, that's a bunch of bullshit, and had proof to back it up, yeah, no, Mendicant was kind of pissed. And yeah, there is credence to the argument that Mendicant went insane. Because it was doing things that... It was attacking its creators. It was opening them up to be vulnerable to the Flood. There is an argument to make the case that Mendicant did go cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, but that is because of the information overload that the Gravemind would slam into him. Plus everything is just a door. Exactly. It's essentially you're just like, make it stop! And making the people that put everyone else in the situation pay for their crimes. Because the Forerunners, believe it or not, we're not good people! They know what they did, and they were shit! Just because you get clarity at the end that you were the dick does not stop you from being a dick. But yes, in the terminals and in Halo, they refer to it as the logic plague. Because Mendicant would also talk to other AI, and it would spread like a plague, because they came into contact with him and had a conversation with him. But it's not a literal plague. It is a logic-based argument that turns AI to the side of the Flood, because logically, it makes sense. Now, did Cortana get infected by the logic plague? Well, there. Did she succumb to the logic plague? I'm going to say no. So Mendicant Bias saw a great old one. Pretty much. Forerunners and old ones are pretty much equal, right? No, they are not. The Forerunners were basically the equivalent of the Necron tier. Like, before robots. They were on par with that. It's just that the precursors just didn't believe in the concept of violence, I guess? Because they were so powerful, they could just, like, demonstrate, I can create a planet and with, like, the palm of my hand, so you're pathetic compared to me, so, like, what's the point? But then, like, the Forerunners started shooting at them, and they're just like, ah! Oh, no! But yeah, you gotta understand that the logic plague, not a literal plague, it is just a logic-based argument. Did Cortana succumb to it? I don't think so. It's never been stated. She's never had any inclination to help the Flood. If she was succumbing to it, Halo 3's plot would not have happened. Now, it is very clear in the Halo Evolution short story, where we do get her perspective when she's being interrogated by the Gravemind, that it is torturing her, but at no point does the Gravemind ever begin the process of the moral argument. He is simply trying to figure out, what are you hiding from me? Because he's on a time crunch. He doesn't have 43 years to explain it. What do you think about the original idea from Bungie that humans were the Forerunners? They never were! So... Okay. I know a lot of people also get this wrong. The Forerunners and humans were always separate. Even in Bungie's words, they were never the same. Never, ever. They are not the same thing. The terminals make that abundantly clear. I.e., the librarian states that she believes she found humanity's homeworld. Two separate species. Bungie did not go into detail, but a lot of the story beats that 343 used were from Bungie's Halo Bible, like the creative Bible. Those were notes left behind. They are not the same. They never were. We just never got details. And I know a lot of people screw that up because of what Spark says in Halo 1. I.e., why would you hesitate to do what you've already done? I.e., implying that Chief and Cortana, like Chief and humanity, have done this before. But he is referring to, why would you living beings refuse to do what you've already done before? Because you gotta remember, 343 was human. He was an ancient human. So, question. It's not a dumb one. It's not a dumb one. Don't worry, it's not a dumb one. Do Spartans age slower, or do they just are they affected by aging? They are affected by aging. It's just that their body is, you know, super soldier. It doesn't deteriorate in the same way that we do. John is 60 years old by the time of Halo Infinite. He is... He hasn't slowed down. He's still going. He's not slowed down. But you can clearly see the age. The problem is that we've never seen a Spartan die by age. So we don't know if they can or not. But they do age normally. Like the rest of us. John is 60. He's an older gentleman. Also, they are child soldiers, so they will serve for a long time. Yeah. John, when did John begin military service? John 117. Birth date 25/11. It's 2558. Sorry, he's 59. No, wait, hold on. Ah, why am I fucking this up? I'm bad at math.
Hi, you said math?
Sorry, he's 47 years old. Hi.
I'm still waiting for Brit.
I know. He was around 10 when he went to Reach. No, he was 6. He was 6 years old. I have the book. Not to mention they're all child soldiers. The first mission was when they were still teens. Yep.
Wait, the first mission where most of them died?
No, like the first mission where John, Sam, Linda, Kelly, and Fred went to capture that one general guy
Oh.
when they were like 13 or 14.
Okay, yeah.
How's it feel that you got your ass kicked by a 13-year-old? My bad. Don't worry about it. It's such small knowledge. Don't apologize. But what about what he said in Halo 3 where he said, you are Forerunner? You're gonna believe the fucking AI that's going crazy? You're gonna believe the crazy AI when he says, you are Forerunner! He said that because he's freaking the fuck out. What Spark says when he's freaking out should not be taken at face value. He is literally going rampant. That's another thing. Rampancy is different from Logic Plague. The reason why Cortana is breaking down in Halo 4 is because A, she's past her life expectancy, and B, hi Nix! And B, she has she's basically a computer running on, basically storing more than what's worth of her goddamn hard drive. She's already a very impressive AI. She could store a lot of information inside of her, but then she just took on the full context of the Forerunner Flood War and all that entailed multiple times. Yeah, no, the computer's being fucking cranked up to max. We're overclocking this bitch, so she was going to deteriorate. If Master Chief was non-fictional, he wouldn't have let Donald Trump get shot. No, he fucking would have. Get out of here with that. Get out of here with that. Get that shit out of my chat. Trump isn't innocent. Get the fuck out of my chat. Get that troll the fuck out of my chat. Anyway, back to the fun stuff. Smart AI, from my understanding, can't stop thinking. They think themselves to death. Correct. They literally think themselves to death. That's what rampancy is. When you run into Governor Sloan in Halo 5, he is doing everything to try and prevent his death. He is literally fragmenting himself off and making himself simpler to survive. For reference, is akin to try and run Cyberpunk 2077 on a device that can barely run Doom. Exactly. But yeah, so Guilty Spark was going insane. It's very clear in the logs within Halo Anniversary, which are the best part about the Anniversary collection, is that, like, we got the logs. And we get to see him slowly deteriorate over the millions of years that he's alone. It's actually just a very sad story about how a robot, when left alone for long periods, like, Forerunner Flood War ends. He is sent on Installation 04 to a random part of the galaxy, and he is isolated. The only contact he has is the other monitors on the other Halos, and they regularly convene like every 100 years. They stopped doing that. He has no one to talk to for millions of years. So he slowly starts going insane. It's why he doesn't act like the other monitors do in Halo. It's why he hums to himself. It's why he's extra about his conversations. Do you think the Arbiter, John and Johnson could hold the Halo in Halo 3? What? What? Can you rephrase the question? Love your work in WoW Greenskins 40k. Yeah, WoW! Could you rephrase the question? As a Necron player, I'll take your green tied with my silver one. Well, it's not just silver. It could be bronze. It could be gold. It could be copper. What's that one song? Love you. Are Craftworld Eldar still evil? Yes! They are horrifically racist and evil. How old is Cortana at this point? She's dead. She's fucking dead. She was made in 2552. So... No, she was made in 2551. So, she's 8 years old and she's a corpse. Not even a corpse. She's space dust. I'm still reading the Horus Heresy here. Do you have any recommendations for after? Therapy. For anything after Horus Heresy, God, there's the Dark Imperium books, which is Dark Imperium, Plague War, and Godblight. Those 3 books, which is essentially like a very good way to jump from 30k into 40k. There's Gene Father and The Great Work for Belisarius Call. There's also the Abaddon and Ahriman series. Night Lord trilogy is really good, yeah. Old abs intensifies. Oh yeah, they're all terrible except Trazon. He's great. No, Trazon's a dick. Trazon is very much a dick. We make jokes that he's the British Museum, but literally, he is just the British Museum. He takes stuff without permission. Which Primarch should return to both sides of the lore and tabletop? Fulgrim should be next for Chaos, and it's probably going to be Leman Russ for the Loyalists. What do you think about Vashdor? I think Vashdor is a very interesting topic. Traz in the Infinite? Not great. No, not great. He's funny. Do not get me wrong. The fucker is hilarious. Especially like in the books, in the Infinite and Divine, where he's on this one Eldar planet, where like they choose to live a very primitive lifestyle. And he gets eaten by a dinosaur. He jumps his consciousness into a Lich Guard, and he's just like, oh god, that was terrible. No, bring back Dorn. No! Dorn can't read. I want Lord Adorable. No. It's most likely going to be Leman Russ because Space Wolves. Do you think Orgrins have bad sides, or are they just taking advantage of? They are taken advantage of. They are described as children. Orgrins are described as children because their bodies are literally too big for their brains. They literally are just giant fucking babies that are taken advantage of by the Imperium. The only way they get smarter is when the Imperium literally drives technology into their brains. Bring Dorn back with a Captain Hook hand. It is confirmed that the hand inside the Fortress Monastery of the Imperial Fist that is in amber is not Dorn's hand. Don't worry about it. He has his hands. Unlike Ferris, who lost his head. If he fused the Zerg, Nid, and Floodspore together and all... Jesus Christ, guys. When Vulcan returns, he will hug everything. No, he won't. He'll burn everything. Vulcan was not that nice a person! He burned children! Fuck! Just because he didn't treat his human serfs like shit doesn't mean he's a good person! I just remember the smartest Orgrin's best feat could count to 4 unassisted. Yep. Is Rylanor playable in 30k? That's actually a good question. Hold on. Is Rylanor playable? Horus Heresy. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. The Exterminator Guard, Palatine. Rylanor the Unyielding! Yes, you can play Rylanor. He is an Emperor's Children Contemptor Dreadnought. He comes equipped with a Karis Assault Cannon and a Close Combat Weapon. So he's got his Fist, he's got an Assault Cannon, he's got a Heavy Flamethrower. He's got Crusader and the Venerable rule, which makes him faster and more survivable. So yes, you can play Loyalist Emperor's Children and bring Rylanor. Oh, I might buy him someday. You are literally just buying the Emperor's Children Contemptor Dreadnought. I think it'll be Russ because it was him, Guilliman, and the Lion were flipped as the saviors in this. Yeah, so like it's going to be Leman Russ. Imagine using a flamethrower. If you could somehow set one exhibit free from Trazen's gallery, what would you pick? Oh, God. Oh, God. Which one? Oh, you spoil me. I just walk in one day, Trazen's gone, he's not here. I can just open up anything? Fuck me, let's go. I want Creed back. I'm going to open up Creed's casket. There's a reason why Fabius gave Fulgrim. We get Creed back. We hand him back to his daughter. The two embrace. I am aware of what happens with the Regicide game. He was so angry, he exploded a Thousand Sons' heart. Could John, Arbiter, and Johnson hold the Halo ring in Halo 3? No, they could not. The Flood were already breaching the facility. You remember that, right? In Halo 3... when, after we beat Spark, the Flood were already inside. They had already forced their way in. There was no holding them for that amount of time. No, they were dead. They were going to die if they didn't do it. I'd release the Krork because chaos for everyone. He has a Krork! One! And I'm not letting that out! Time for Russ versus Johnson round 2. Actually, no. It is confirmed in a short story somewhere. I don't remember which book. That Leman Russ and Lionel had a heart-to-heart after the events of the Horus Heresy, and that they would set aside their differences. We're not getting a repeat. Sorry if I repeat my message. I asked you to. To be fair, I'm so done with Krieg. God. Why do people find the Siege of Vrax so interesting? Holy shit. Reading that shit is the most boring garbage ever. I'm sorry. The Death Corps of Krieg is boring. Everyone's like, oh, Cadians are so boring and generic. At least they have fucking character. At least they get character development. What's Krieg got? Mindless clones that walk into the fire. What is the entirety of the Siege of Vrax campaign? Oh, you know, cultists and Krieg dying. Until Imperium wins. Woo. Fucking Christ, Siege of Vrax is boring. Would Krork spores make more Krork or normie orcs? Krork spores would make Krorks. Orcs are the de-evolution, like the de-evolution of Krorks. Wish we got more Catachan because I would love to know what they think of how soft other groups are. We do have Catachan books. We do have them. They do not hold a high opinion of a lot of people. They basically, unless it's like the Valhalla Ice Warriors or the Talern Desert Raiders, they tend to have a pretty poor opinion of a lot of other guard regiments. Don't even get them started on the Maccabi and Janissaries. We're the Space Poland Army, aka Vestroya. No, I thought Vestroya was supposed to be like... No? Because Vestroya has like the fucking giant stupid hats, like from Russia. They go through commissars like crazy. Yeah, because commissars are stupid. A smart commissar, when assigned to a Catachan regiment, integrates himself into the regiment. Doesn't try to, you know, force the regiment to serve on his terms. This party's getting crazy. Glad to know they are themselves. They very much are. Because they're supposed to be like... They're based on the American Vietnam soldiers. Very, very much willing to frag is the best term there. Very much willing to frag. They're supposed to be a reference to like Rambo, the Vietnam War, Predator, that kind of thing. Have you played Ruby Halo Rebalance? No. And I have no interest to. But yeah, no, like, fucking Krieg is boring. Vestroyans are based off of the old Russian Strelasi from the 16th century. Thank you, TCOM. Does the Administratum have a corruption on Terra? Oh, massively! It's actually the plot point for the Custodes books, like the most recent ones. That, the High Lords that Gulliman fired, they were like, let's put it this way. Gulliman essentially fired, and using real-world examples here, he essentially fired the entire Republican side of the Supreme Court, and then those fuckers went down into the underhives and recruited fucking chaos cultists to try and overthrow the Imperium. Administration? Corrupt? Yep. Yep. And they continue to be problematic and stupid. Also, Leroy, I know you're butthurt over 343. You don't have to show us in my chat. Please, for the love of God. Take your crying ass home. If you're that butthurt, you don't need to show it to everyone else. But yeah, no, the Imperium administration on Terra is very corrupt, both through chaos and its own incompetence. Do you think Robote will slowly reduce the power of the church? He's already trying! By God, is he trying. Pain! How would Batman make a contingency plan for Plastic Man? He can't, did. He did make a contingency plan. Freeze the fucker. The administration definitely isn't corrupt. They can do no wrong. It's definitely my fault. My food rations are 6 years late. Man, could it be the corrupt up bureaucracy of the Imperium that makes it so fucking horrible to be in the Imperium? No! It must be the peasants' fault. I mean, he can't die. You can freeze him! He's rubber! Jesse, the idea of the contingency plans is not to kill! It is to immobilize! Son of a bitch! Ah! Y'all hurt me! Y'all hurt me on a physical level I can't comprehend. Oh, but he wants to. But could he kill Plastic Man? No! He doesn't want to! I blame the Mechanicus. Near impossible deadlines. I blame the Mechanicus! How about we blame the entire institution? I got it! We'll tear down the Imperium! Let the galaxy burn! There was a line that had me laughing earlier in Rogue Trader when I asked my Agri World how long it had been since it shipped any food off world, and he's like, now that you mention it, decades! Best place to live in the Imperium, Agri World. It's not a fucking hive world where you're just sardine with millions of other people. It's not a forge world where you're sardine with millions of people and it's hot. It's better than a death world. Do you think space sharks could be the Terran-born Raven Guard? They are the Terran-born Raven Guard. They are. It's confirmed. Farmland world. It is confirmed in the Concordon's books that they are the Terran-born Raven Guard. Why do Dark Angels give Chaplain Asmodai so much freedom if even Azrael has censored him? That's just it! They don't! They keep him on a very tight leash. It's just that he kind of fucks off and does what he wants. And it's just like... I don't know why they haven't blown his brains out yet. Feudal worlds don't sound too bad. I want you to repeat that to yourself. I want you to repeat that to yourself. And remind yourself what feudal means. Let the galaxy burn again for the 1000th time. Yes! Burn down the Imperium. Tear it down. Rebuild it from the ground up. Bring back Star Trek. Isn't Asmodai super pissed now that he can't get another Black Pearl? We didn't get his perspective in the final Arcs of Omen book. We got Azrael's perspective, and his perspective was, "Don't fucking touch me, you fallen!" That was his reaction. So is 40K just Star Trek the worst timeline? It's Star Trek event where everything went wrong. Do you think we could see Sanguinius return? In what way would you want him to return? He's never coming back. Thanks to the events and the changing of what happened to him in Horus Heresy. Yeah, no, there ain't no coming back from that. Sorry. Ain't no coming back from the absolute destruction that Horus put him through. And if I do not want Sanguinius to come back, it removes the entire purpose of his existence. He is supposed to be the 40k martyr. He is supposed to be the Imperium's martyr. He's their, for lack of a better comparison, their Jesus. He is the person that dies so the Emperor can win. And that the tragedy of his death is what gives the Blood Angels what little character they have, the character that they have. Have you ever played the Ultima games? I have not. If I ever win the lottery, I'm bribing GW to finally kill Erebus. No! No! How will I continue to make my funny jokes if he's dead? It's like if Jesus was supposed to come back. Oh, wait. Sanguinius is supposed to be the martyr. He's supposed to be the corpse. If you bring him back, it makes the Black Rage age just no point. Are you excited for the Space Marine 2 game? Oh, I'm not just excited for it. I've been dangling its balls in front of me, waiting patiently to see if these balls are good. I have pre-ordered the game. I get to play it 4 days early. The war can never end until someone convinces the orcs. It is purely their belief that the Emperor can't fully die until they believe he is dead. Ah, you're all adorable. You can piss on his grave. Yeah, but like 40k needs that asshole character. It needs somebody like that, and no one else has the dickish charisma of Erebus. If the Black Templars and Space Wolves are told to purge a world that is fully fallen, who completes the task first? Black Templars do, because they don't question it. The Space Wolves do question it, i.e., what made the world wrong? Would love to join you one day. Am the same. We'll see. I will do a review for it. So, who is the most boring Primarch in my opinion? Oh! Oh! The most boring Primarch is Ferrus Manus. The problem becomes that he has no character. He is better as a corpse, because it gives the Iron Hands an interesting character. Ferrus Manus is the most boring, because even when he was alive, he was fucking nothing. No! Shut your mouth. Khan is interesting. Khan is the most interesting out of all those fucks. The most boring for me are the unknown ones. Well, that's because, like, we know nothing about them. The studs on a Space Marine head, do those represent years of service or something? They represent, I think, a decade? Space Marine service studs. Service studs. I think it's a decade. Yeah, a stud will represent 10, 50, or 100 years of service, depending on its style and the material it's made from. If you have a silver stud, it's 50. Well, it's in the Dark Ages. If you have a stud, you've been serving for 50 years. If you have a gold stud, it's a full century. For the Soul Drinkers, it's for every 10, you get a silver stud. But if you're in the Chaplaincy, you get a ebony stud. If you could swap one Traitor Legion for one Loyalist, who would it be? Ooh. Who would I choose? Ooh. Loyalist to traitor, loyalist to traitor, traitor to loyalist. Oh boy! If I had my pick. Ooh, that is a tough question. Yeah, no, Titus has 4. Fuck. Who would I swap? You know what? I'm going with my bias here. I'd swap Thousand Suns with Iron Hands. Iron Hands because, like, work with the Dark Mechanicum, that can make them a lot more interesting. Thousand Suns, I just love my Thousand Suns, and can't argue with me. Have you watched Suicide Squad Isekai at the end of the ED? No, I have not, and I don't care for it. I just can't fathom a Traitor Salamander. They're pretty much all gone, so... Imperial... Imagine a loyalist Conrad Kurz. No. One half, what makes the Khan interesting in that he's the coolest guy that no one knows about. I'll be right back. I'm going to use the washroom, but then I'll answer that question. Okay. Oh, the cat decided that my chair was the best spot to be in. Look at that, chat. Look at this creature. Look at this tiny fucking creature. That's my baby. She's my baby. She's my tiny kitty. Okay. You're gonna hang out with me. So, why is Khan interesting? Why is Jaghatai Khan interesting? It is because he is a Primarch that is self-aware of what's going on around him. He is very much aware what the Imperium is and wants no part of it if he can avoid it. He is very aware about who his brothers are, but he is also very aware about who he is as an individual. When the Emperor came to him, he was under no illusion of what the Emperor was offering him. It was, work for me or die. He held out his fist with a hand of friendship while holding a mace in the other. Jaghatai was very aware of what would happen. And unlike a lot of his other brothers who were fine with the Imperium just rolling on in and turning their planet into whatever the fuck that the Imperium needed it or wanted it to be, he actually said, please, for the love of God, do not with Chagoris. Chagoris is fine how it is. Now, should he have the right to decide the fate of a planet and its people without talking to them? Well, no, he shouldn't have that right, but he is very aware that the Chagoran people would fight back and die doing so. So he requested just leave them the fuck alone. And the Imperium did, so long as he came to serve. Then, what happened with him and his brothers? What kind of person was the Khan to everyone else? To everyone else, he was aloof. He wasn't around that much. And when he was around, he was quiet. He was very, very quiet. And the problem was that not a lot of people went up and talked to him. If you did talk to him and actually sat down to have a conversation with him, he was a fairly interesting and well-educated individual. He knew philosophy. He knew everything. It's just that he didn't go shouting his accomplishments from the fucking hilltops. He didn't demand people's respect. Because respect is earned. His status as a Primarch means nothing to him. He is a lord because he earned it. He is a commander because he earned it. He is a great swordsman because he earned it. And you don't need to be screeching to the heavens that I am the greatest rider! Ha! It's why he chastised Fulgrim for it. When Fulgrim, basically made fun of him, he tore Fulgrim a new asshole. Because, well, yeah, of course he's going to. That's just who Jaghatai is. He doesn't like blowhards and braggarts. He doesn't like hypocrites. He fucking hates them. The worst thing that you can be to the Khan is a hypocrite. And he was very close friends with Magnus the Red and Horus Lupercal. Magnus, because both he and Magnus shared a fondness for knowledge and learning, and as well had the same opinions when it came to psychers. They were very progressive in that mindset. It's just that where Magnus was like, unrestrained knowledge! Jaghatai was the kind of guy to go, take only what you need. Your psychic abilities make you unique, they make you special, but do not rely upon them. If you need them, you need them, but take only what you need, not more. Because he was very aware that if you don't understand something to its fullest extent, don't fuck with it. If you don't know if the snake is poisonous or not, don't fuck with it, is the rule of the game. And then there was Horus. Horus and him were best friends because they had the same kind of mindset, the same kinds of tactics, and the fact that Horus didn't brag. Horus was not a bragger. He was very humble compared to a lot of the other Primarchs. It's why Jaghatai Khan liked him. It's why he respected and followed him. Now, why didn't Jaghatai follow Horus if they were best friends? Comes back down to the hypocrite. So, be Jaghatai Khan. You were left in the dark about the situation going on in the galaxy and the Horus Heresy as a whole. You have been left in the dark for half the Horus Heresy's timeline. You then learn about it through the Alpha Legion. Best ice cream flavor, strawberry marble. I will fight each and every one of you. You then learn about it from two very different sources saying two very different things, and then you just decide, you know what? I'm gonna go figure it out. I'm gonna go figure my shit out. So he goes and investigates. He learns for himself about which side to side with. Because at the end of the day, he knows he has to pick one. But if he's going to pick one, he's going to make an educated decision. He's not just going to pick sides because Horus is his best friend. Now, he is very tempted to. He is very tempted to believe Horus, but Dorn's not a liar. Dorn is a very shit liar. He does not believe Dorn would lie about that. But the question is, why is he saying that? So, he goes and figures it out. He goes to Prospero, he finds the Fragment of Magnus, that is his guilt, and the Fragment of Magnus pretty much confirms, like, yeah, no, Horus betrayed the Emperor, Horus is doing this and that, I fucked up real bad, don't blame the Space Wolves for what I did. Yeah, no, shit sucks. I'm sorry. And so, then when Jagatai comes back out from that cave, he runs into Mortarion, who at this point is very desperate because he's backed the wrong horse. Because Mortarion hates Psykers, he hates magic, he hates the warp, and he's chosen the side that has decided that going balls deep into the warp is the most coolest thing that you can do as a cool kid. So yeah, let's suck on that warp kush. Let's do it. Whereas he's just like, no, I don't like. And then he's just like, oh, Jagatai, he's sane, he's logical, he'll totally side with me on this one. Because Mortarion's an idiot and doesn't understand people. Because he thinks that everyone's a spiteful little dickhead like him. And so when he basically comes and tries to recruit Jagatai, Jagatai says, you tasted the fruits of treachery and you didn't like it. What does that say about you, fuckwad? And then proceeds to hand Mortarion his ass. And then flees because he's just like, shit, I need to get home. Only to come back to find out that half his legion's gone traitor. And yeah, he does put down the traitors. He does, like, all those that were following their traitorous leaders. He's like, you got two options. You can die for redemption in battle, or I can kill you here and now. All of them, respecting their Khan, chose battle redemption. They will die in battle to redeem themselves. Because Khan was just that cool of a guy. Jagatai Khan is not boring by a long mile. He's a very interesting Primarch. It's just that when you read the books, Primarchs tend to be the most uninteresting characters. It is arguable that all Primarchs are boring. Because the most interesting thing about a Primarch is reading them from someone else's perspective. It is very interesting to see Primarchs from outside the perspective of a Primarch. The reason why it works with Guilliman in Dark Imperium, Plague War, and Godblight is because Guilliman is the fish out of water. He is the one that is in a different time than what he was used to. So it makes him interesting as he's trying to figure out ways how to work with the modern Imperium while still trying to apply the logic of 30k to 40k. And you can see why that makes him so interesting as he's failing to do that. It isn't working, and it's frustrating to him. And so it gives him a lot more character to work with when he's having to juggle the bureaucracy of the Imperium that, yeah, this is what he set up. He's looking his failure in the face. The independent Space Marines, which, yeah, it worked back then, but it was a band-aid to a mortal wound. It's not working anymore. The Space Marine chapters don't listen to him unless they're sons, like, unless they're from his direct descendancy. And even then, he's had problems. The Sisters of Battle, they have friendly fired on so many occasions. He has actually he's actually thought about disbanding the whole organization. The only reason he doesn't is because they're a military asset that he needs right now. The Imperial Guard. He literally looks at the Imperial Guard and goes, "How do you function?" What is the opinion on the Codex Astartes? Necessary change or overkill bureaucracy? At the time, it is a band-aid that was needed. It was a little bit of an overreaction. It was a little bit of an overreaction, but an understandable one. You gotta remember that Guilliman is the statesman, he's the bureaucrat among his brothers, so he's just trying to find the best solution for everyone. And having a bunch of 1,000-man strong chapters at the time was a good idea. But over time, no, this was supposed to be with him and his brothers still around. He literally could not have predicted how everything could go so wrong so fast. How would you write when Dante actually finally gets to die? God, he's supposed to die at the steps of the throne. I don't know. I don't know how I would write that. I would have another invasion of Baal by Kabanda and have him die at the steps to Sanguinius' coffin. I think that would be a good death for him. Like, have a whole plot where, like, Kabanda gets it in his head that, like, if he devours Sanguinius' corpse, it will not only destroy the bloodline of Sanguinius, that, like, it will empower him. And so, like, he invades Baal again, and Dante, in his final moments, like, banishes Kabanda and dies at the casket of Sanguinius. I think that would be a good story. But yeah, no, the Codex Astartes was a decent temporary idea, not a good full-on solution. It led to a lot of problems, but a lot of problems Guilliman could have never predicted. Dante is like his old man, dying to say something greater and thus forgotten as a person with their own struggles. Yeah. No, that's what I think would be a good death. I am not the GW writers. They are very talented individuals. I am an idiot. I went to a Halloween restaurant today. Cool. Good for you. But yeah, Guilliman in 30K is one of the best Primarchs, in my opinion. In 40K, he is a very interesting character because he had to become a character. Because, like, it is a massive shock to the system where the last thing you see is your brother laughing at you as you're choking on poison, and then the next thing you know, you're awake 10,000 years later with that trauma still there. Gulliman is traumatized, and now having to fix the empire you had no choice but to leave behind. I think the Imperial Navy needs more representation. I think it does, because space battles in 40K are pretty bog standard. Do I have a favorite GW author? Dan Abnett. By fucking miles, Dan Abnett. He is a great writer. He's a very good sci-fi writer. Holy shit. Plus, he wrote my favorite Horus Heresy novel, No Fear. Which is the Ultramarine book that basically single-handedly redeemed the Ultramarines as a Space Marine Legion and chapter. And actually showed that they weren't the bestest best boys. Yeah, they were smart, but they tended to be, like, really fucking arrogant and very much too cocksure about themselves. And it took them getting their asses kicked to realize, oh, fuck. Nah, our mindset was wrong. No Fear is a great book. Such a good fucking book, dude. But yeah, like, I like what they're doing with the Primarch, like, at least the Loyalist Primarchs in 40K. The Lion's only gotten one book thus far, and that book is essentially him reflecting on who he was back in the Horus Heresy. And the answer is that Lionel Johnson has done a complete 180 personality-wise. Not like a forced one, but like one where he actually was slowly changing, and we're now seeing that change come to fruition. He is no longer a very reclusive, very inward person. He's very much trying to change, and he's very much trying to understand everyone around him, which I really appreciate. What's my opinion of Ferrus Manus? He's better off dead, because he gives the Iron Hands a fucking character. Because he didn't have one. The Iron Hands are interesting because they were the guys who lost their Primarch first. They were the first Legion/chapter to lose their Primarch. And they are the best example of a Legion that suffered the most because of it. Yeah, sure, say what you want about Sanguinius and the Blood Angels, and that Blood Angels suffer from the Black Rage. At least there's still a chapter. At least there's still a chapter. At least they still have a combined brotherhood. The Iron Hands are spiteful little bastards. They are, each one of their subchapters is the best versions of seeing the stages of grief. The Iron Hands live in constant denial. They deny that they are in mourning. They deny that they fucked up. It has to be everyone else. Everyone else is the problem, not us. We didn't do anything wrong. It was Ferrus Manus that fucked up, even though it was all of them that did. Whereas, like, the subchapter, the Sons of Medusa, they are the best example of the Iron Hands getting over it. They are the guys that went, yeah, no, Ferrus Manus is dead. You're all fucking assholes. Fuck you. Including the Iron Lords. The Iron Lords and the Sons of Medusa are the 2 chapters that have managed to break that cycle. Isn't there a theory that Ferrus Manus is part of one of the chapters of Ghost Rider Space Marines? It was a theory, but now that Legion of the Damned no longer appear in any substantial book outside of a horror short story. What are your comments on the character of Gabriel Seth? The Flesh Tear Chapter Master? I wish we had more of him. He's very interesting for a Blood Angel. Still angry about the Legion of the Damned. It's... Legion of the Damned were a very interesting idea, but the problem became that, yes, their models were cool, but they were so fucking niche on the table. There was literally no point to taking them. Yeah, like, the strength of them came from being able to deep strike, having a 3-up invulnerable save, and at the time of their rules, having bolters that could ignore cover and were basically 1,000 Sun bolters. And could take any weapon they wanted. The problem came down to they were fine casts, so they were not very popular to build and or buy, and their rules they just never helped in strategy. And you could only take a unit of 1. Then 8th edition rolled out, and you could take them as like an allied detachment. You could take up to 3 squads. But again, it came down to just they were too expensive, like point-wise and game-wise. And no one used them, no one bought them. So GW just took them off the market. I like his arc of trying to redeem his chapter, but also not be ashamed about what they are. Seth needs another book. Probably. How do you use Deep Strike in an effective way? Okay, so... if you are deep striking units in 40k, there has to be a rhyme or reason to it. It can't just be, oh, I'm protecting a unit. I'm protecting this unit so they don't get shot off the board turn 1. There are other ways to do that and make that unit more effective. The idea for deep striking units are they should be deep striking into positions where you know that you can take advantage of their deep strike, i.e. like, when in combination with like other units, they can destroy like a few units together. Or in this case, your army has pushed up, so your deep striking units can teleport in and just hold objectives. That is the idea. Or you're using your deep striking units to space out your opponent, i.e. you're dropping them in, so your opponent has to focus on those problems because they're distraction card effects. If you're a Blood Angels player, you can be a massive cock and just use drop pod spam. I guess that's fair. Honestly, I never knew the reasons why they were canceled. Thanks, boss. Yeah, no, if GW is removing models from their store, it's because those models are not selling. Now, a lot of people would argue, well, then why didn't you update them? Which is a very fair argument. Like, you know people like these things, but their rules are just garbage, so no one wants to buy them, and the models are made of a material that sucks ass to work with. If I have to spend my time dumping my fucking models into like hot water to make sure that like they aren't bent when I get them, yeah, no shit, I'm not gonna buy them. It was a double-edged sword. Finecast sucks. It is a trash material to work with. It's terrible to paint, and it's terrible to fucking build. And that's what the fucking Legion of the Damned were after they were metal. Legion of the Damned were metal, and then they became Finecast. And it was god-awful. But yeah, they weren't... Legion of the Damned weren't the only ones to go. There was, like, Commissar Yarrick. There was a lot of characters that went the way of the dinosaur for 40k. And it sucks that we lost those models. It really does fucking suck. Orcs, we lost Captain Badrock. You updated the Flash Git kit, but you wouldn't upgrade fucking Badrock? Why the hell not? Commissar Yarrick, his model was fucking old. Why didn't you update it? Well, we wanted to make way for new characters. You know what? Fair and fine. What was basically Space Rider, Space Marines being metal just sounds so on-brand. That would be Doombreed, I think. Space Rider. Shit. Ghost Rider, sorry. Ghost Rider, the Legion of the Damned were supposed to be like a Ghost Rider reference. But yeah, sadly, lots of 40k models had to go. Because, again, they weren't selling, and if they weren't selling... You could probably find some, You could probably find some on the secondhand market, like... Legion of the Damned models. Yeah, people are still selling them. They're probably going for an arm and a leg, though. So be aware of that. What are your thoughts on the Dorian Heresy? It's stupid and I hate it. Because it completely misses the point and the characters of all the 40k Primarchs. Just misses the point. Alright, my throat is hurting. I'm sweating buckets in this office. I need to get off now. But thank you all for coming. Thank you for all joining in. TikTok people, please, if you haven't already, go subscribe to my YouTube. For the love of God. Your support over there allows me to keep the lights on over here. I very much appreciate it. Please check out all my Halo videos that I have uploaded, along with the Warhammer Army Guides. I will also be updating that series when all the 40k codexes are out. After Space Wolves, though, I will also be going over the Horus Heresy Legions. Woo! Good times had by all. Okay, I am gonna go rest. You all have a fantastic night. Take care. Good night, everybody!